Alright, we're back. I'm Strategic Seller and I'm here to bring you all your tips, your tricks, your strategies you need to dominate at mobile gaming. We're on the main account Seller Man today because of the fact we need as many cards as possible for this video. We are doing a deck constructing video, everything you need to know when building a deck, what you need to keep in mind, what you want to have in the back of your head when thinking about what deck is perfect for you. So there's many different kinds of decks, and the decks are always changing, the cards are always changing, there's new ones being brought in, they're getting nerfed, they're getting buffed, whatever it is, the game is always changing, it's evolving around you. So you need to stay on top of the game, the meta, what cards are being used more often, what cards are getting better, what cards are getting worse. So for example, right now the log is really good, it's really strong. The log used to not be really good, it used to not push back all the troops, it used to not have such a long width, it used to not roll as far as it did now, it didn't used to do as much damage as it does now. So there's a ton of people using the log. That's something you need to keep in mind because of the meta at the moment when making the deck. What cards are very strong, what cards are very weak. Let's get into the basics though. When constructing a deck, there's different kinds of deck. There's spawners, there's cycles, there's chips, there's zap bait, and then there's just your regular, you need a tank and you want to get to the tower. Whatever the kind of deck you need, you have to keep that kind of mindset in your head, what kind works best for you. So with a spawner, let me throw up a spawner deck really quick right now. So right here is a pretty basic spawner, I would say. Unfortunately, I do not have them all upgraded because I do not have the gold. But regardless of that fact, a basic spawner has the spear goblins and the barb hut. So with those two huts in mind, that's what the spawners, that's the staple of the spawner. And then you got to figure out what other troops you want around that. So what goes really good with the spawner is the baby dragon. It's got that splash damage from the air. It can deal with ground troops that your barbs, your spear goblins are already distracting. You got your knight, a cheap kind of tank unit that can deal some damage. The miner to get rid of pumps maybe, even though the pump's not really strong right now. The miner to distract the tower. The spear goblins to deploy. Maybe a princess coming at you, maybe a mini P.E.K.K.A.'s coming at you, whatever it is. The spear goblins are really good at distracting, and they can also hit air along with the baby dragon. And then the zap for some control, whether or not you need to zap skeleton army, his minions, his goblins, his sparky. There's a lot of things you need to keep in mind when creating a deck. So this is just a basic spawner kind of deck, and when making a spawner deck, you need to keep in mind of your push. That's the most important thing when building a deck. You need to keep in mind what's your push and how are you getting to that tower, and better, as a matter of fact, how are you gonna make sure your push gets to that tower. So with a spawning deck, you want to overwhelm your opponent and eventually just have a massive crowd of units rushing down the lane towards his side, his or her side of the arena, to then destroy the tower. With a different style of deck, let's do a hog cycle. This is again a very basic hog cycle deck. What you have here is obviously the hog rider. He is your push. He is what's getting to the tower. He is dealing that damage. And then the rest of your deck is control, defense, helping the push get there, and help cycling through back to another hog rider. The cost is 2.8. That's the point of a cycle. Keep it very low, keeping your push moving, whether it's chip cycle, hog cycle, goblin barrel cycle, whatever it is. The cycle needs to be there from a low elixir count. I have nothing over a 4 elixir in this deck. That is very cheap, and there's only 2 of them. The mini P.E.K.K.A. is pretty much straight defense, whether it's for a prince, a royal giant, a golem, a giant skeleton, whatever it is. The mini P.E.K.K.A. can deal out serious amounts of damage at a very low elixir cost. That's a really good thing to know about that specific card. You really need to know the cards well. Even if you're a beginner, watch a few videos of mine or just study the cards and you'll see that each unit reacts differently, but it's best to see them in gameplay so you can get a feel of their AI and what they are going to do. So another style of deck is a bait deck. And a bait deck, you're baiting the zap or now the log, really, because the log is so strong right now, or possibly arrows. So you're baiting basically the zap, the arrows, and the log. Let me throw a deck up for you guys like that. So this is a really hard bait deck. This is minions, minion horde, skeleton army, goblin barrel, princess. All of those 5 units can be taken out by arrows. Now 3 of them can be taken out by log, and 2 of them can be taken out by zap. Along with that, you also have the mirror. So you are really begging them to use their zap, use their arrows, use their log to eliminate the cards they think are going to do the damage and then really bust out what is going to do serious damage. Now, I'm not going to lie, sometimes bait decks aren't always the best, but that goes with any kind of deck. Sometimes you are just going to get matched up against the person that has the perfect counter to your deck. Even if it is a bait deck, you never know what you're going to get thrown against you. Each deck has a specific way of going about how to play in the arena, and that's what you need to know as well. So like I said, you're baiting the zap, the log, the arrow with this deck, and then trying to produce upon that person's mistake, or what they wouldn't expect would to be a mistake, but then is, especially with a minor minion horde, and they zap it trying to snipe out the rest of the minions with that arena tower is never good when a minor is involved. Now, we could go over another style of deck which involves the mortar and the Expo, which is really a defense style deck, and you're just trying to damage the opposing towers that you are going against from your side of the arena. But I hate the Expo and mortar so much that we are not going to get into that. Now let's get into a chip style kind of deck. So this is a chip style of deck, kind of like a zap bait deck, but it's got a few different twists on it. So now we have the Inferno Tower in the deck, we have Fire Spirits, we have regular Goblins. So with this kind of deck, you need to be constantly getting to the tower. You aren't going for that Golem 3 Musketeer, I'm going to obliterate your face in one push. That's not what this deck's about. This deck is about taking 200, 300 hit points off a tower each and every time you cycle through. So you want to drop the miner on the tower with some goblins, boom, doing some damage. You got the miner minions, boom, damage. Maybe princess gets a few shots off. Maybe goblin barrel gets 2 shots off and then zapped. Whatever it is, you are going for just chip throughout the match, making it go as long as you can, and then eventually taking the tower down after whittling it down for minutes on minutes. And then you have the mini P.E.K.K.A. and the Inferno Tower for a defense, whether it's the Royal Giant, whatever it is, the Giant, the Golem, it could be anything. That's what you have those cards in for there. Now let's just get into a basic deck building process. Okay, so when I'm building a deck for myself, I'm going for ladder play, for example. I love tanks. Tanks are my business. Right now, I don't have a tank in. I love the Prince. I've been rocking the Prince Miner. It is fantastic. I also love the Furnace. The Furnace is one of my favorite cards right now. It is super strong. But getting into a tank style of deck, I'm thinking in my head when I'm building a deck, I'm like, all right, so I need a tank. What tank do I want to use? Okay, so we're Bio-Elixir. The tanks are usually heavier, so let's go towards the bottom of the card collection. So the Giant, that's the first tank I see. All right, Giant, you know, he's tough. He just got nerfed. He's still strong, but he's not as strong as he used to be. Royal Giant, he's that tank push, so that's pretty insane. Giant Skeleton, he's a tank. P.E.K.K.A. I wouldn't say is really a tank because you need to protect her so much, because she gets distracted by just about everything. Golem is the tank of all tanks. You got the Giant Skeleton. He's dropping bombs when he dies. Let's go with the Giant just for example. Alright, so now we have the Giant in the first card slot right there. Boom. He is our tank. Now, for a tank, you want to protect the units behind that are really going to do the damage. The tank is to absorb the damage that the opponent is trying to inflict onto the troops that he knows are really going to take the tower down. Not that the Giant can't take the tower down, but he usually has a few of his buddies behind him. So, next, we're looking for that support. That support along with that push. Now, something that I love with the Giant is the Musketeer, so let's put her in the mix. Alright, now we have the Musketeer, boom, second card in the battle deck. I think the Musketeer is personally one of the most versatile cards in the game, considering she has a pretty good range. She can deal damage. When raged up, she is absolutely filthy. She won't die to a fireball of her equivalent level, and she can hit air and land troops very fast with a 1.1 hit second speed. That's pretty good in my opinion. I love her behind the Giant. Now I'm thinking, what complements the Musketeer really well? Well, what complements the Musketeer really well, because she usually does not one-shot minions if you are facing a equivalent card level opponent, is the Mega Minion. So let's throw the Mega Minion in there. Alright, now we have the Mega Minion in the third card slot. That is a very strong, tough air unit that can deal damage, usually takes out a regular pack of minions by itself, and does not die to arrows. So now we're not susceptible to arrows, which is really good, because if you're trading arrows for arrows, yeah, it's even elixir, but now you don't have your minions. So that's why I prefer the Mega Minion over the regular minions. Now let's get into a little bit more support, but not more defense control. So when I'm looking at this deck, I'm like, all right, it's good. I got that giant, I got that musketeer, I got that Mega Minion. What else do I want to go with that? I'm thinking right now that Mini P.E.K.K.A doesn't look bad. He's good on defense, crazy on offense, but what would really go good with this? Okay, so now we have the guards at the top right of the battle deck. So now we're looking pretty good. We got our tank, we have some support from the musketeer and the Mega Minion, and now we have a defensive offensive card, which is really strong because, like I said, the minions can be distracted by it, Sparky can be distracted by it, the Prince, Mini P.E.K.K.A, the miner can be pathed with guards. It's a very, very strong, versatile 3 elixir card. Now I'm thinking, alright, okay, I have my tank, I have my musketeer, my Mega Minion to complement the giant. I have my guards for defense, kinda slash offense. I want a building in the deck. So what building do I love? I love the furnace, so let's throw it in there. So I took out the fire spirits for the furnace, and the furnace deals out fire spirits, but the furnace not only lasts for 50 seconds, which is a very long time, and has an incredible amount of hit points. This is a great card even on strict defense against a Hog Rider, against a Royal Giant, to pull a Golem, to pull a Giant, to pull whatever is coming at it. This is a strong, strong card that can deal it out on offense too, which not many defensives can without being, you know, that snob SOB that's using the Expo or Mortar. That's just me though. So there is our defense slash seriously powerful enhancer to a push. Now let's throw in some more control. So when I'm thinking control, I'm thinking Ice freaking Wizard. That thing is a savage beast, and I freaking love it. I can't get enough of the Ice Wizard. He's got that crowd control, that CC that everybody needs. Let's throw him in the mix. That Ice Wizard can slow down troops. He can help damage air troops. The Ice Wizard is a super, super strong card and has always been, even though he got nerfed a while back ago. So now we are looking at a seriously, seriously strong deck. Now I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, what else do I really want to put in here? I'm looking out throughout the deck, and I see this bad boy. I see the bad log. The log is so strong right now. It is absolutely insane. It pushes back every single troop in the game, can damage the tower, can kill the princess, especially level 3 princesses when the log's level 2. And I just love the log. It's great for control. It's great complement with the Ice Wizard for that crowd control. And now I'm thinking one more thing. I want a little bit more direct damage, because every deck, in my opinion, should have direct damage, because you never know when you need it really, really bad. And maybe the tower's at 5 hit points left and you don't have any direct damage. We are going to throw in the Zap. The thing about direct damage is it is so freaking clutch, even when you don't expect it to be. The direct damage can build up. The lightning, there's a rocket cycle kind of deck you can do. Direct damage is very strong. It's very versatile. It's what you need in your deck, in my personal opinion. I don't really go into any deck without direct damage, and if I do, I know exactly what I'm getting into. But I have been talking a lot about deck building. We have a deck now. It is a 3.3 elixir cost, which is very cheap. Let's get into a live one with it. Alright, so we are going into it against Kamikaze. He is level 10 from the Immortals. He's at 4119. Let's see what we can do against this. We have the furnace ready. Let's see if he's going to play anything. Doesn't look like it, so we're going to place the furnace right there in the middle. Going to damage that left tower, which is nice. He's going to drop his furnace to the right, and he almost logged, completely missed it. Now this is a good thing to note. His furnace is not 2 levels within range of my king tower, which means my arena towers can one-shot his furnace. He's got a witch, level 5, which is interesting because I'm a level 10. I'm a level 11, and I have level 5 freaking witch. let's see what we can do. We got the Musketeer, the Ice Wizard. He's going to drop a level 3 miner. That's intense. Now, I am going to not leave that miner. I'm going to log right now so the Fire Spirits don't attack it. He's got a mini P.E.K.K.A coming in. Let's see if the Ice Wizard, Mega Minion, Musketeer could take it out. Unfortunately, with that zap, because of the Fireball, we were unable to do that. So we are going to drop another Furnace as soon as this one expires in the same exact spot, which is really nice. He's going to log down only freaking 3 of them. Absolutely insane. Saving himself from 2 sets of Fire Spirits. Definitely well played. Let's chuck him one up there. Want to see what he's really trying to rock. Now he's dropping a Furnace in front of his tower because he is very, very scared of my Furnace. We got a Musketeer in the back. Let's see what we can do with her. My goodness. The Ice Wizard down here for the Night Fire Spirits. He's going to Fireball, definitely some value. Misses my Ice Wizard though, surprisingly. He then zaps down my freaking Musketeer. Let's see, we got Mega Minion over here, and I'm betting I'm going to see a mini P.E.K.K.A. So let's get a preemptive log in there. Unfortunately, we did not see the mini P.E.K.K.A soon enough. Now he's going to drop another Furnace. My Mega Minion is taking damage from the Fire Spirits, but giant Ice Wizard Mega Minion is able to take the tower down, and that's what we freaking love. Deck's not half bad for just constructing it, never trying it out before. I love this crap. My goodness. Furnace down to the right, dealing some extra damage. I don't have a single common at level 12, and I'm level 11. Maybe I leveled up too quick. You never know. Maybe he's just sitting back on some really high level cards. He's going to Fireball and completely miss my Musketeer, which I can never complain about that. We're going to log right here for the Skeletons from the Witch, along with the mini P.E.K.K.A. He's going to miner desperately, even though it's level 3. We are now going to drop another Furnace just to keep dealing that damage. I have 2 Musketeers down. One dies to the Knight. He's going to Fireball my Musketeer, my tower, my Furnace. 12 seconds left. I don't think he's got it in him, folks. What do you think? I just don't think he's got it in him. Now he's got the mini P.E.K.K.A. I got Guards Ice Wizard for that mini P.E.K.K.A. Musketeer in the corner just to shut him up. Nice, quick, clean win with that mean deck. My goodness. Sullyman, 27 trophies, golden chest. So with that being said, guys, those were just a few helpful tips, tricks, and strategies to help you guys build a better deck. And if you're new to the game, the things you need to keep in mind when building your deck. So with that being said, all my social media handles are right there. Boom, 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 boom. Links are down in the description. Thank you for watching. Subscribe down below, and I'll catch you all in the next episode.